All right, here we go. Game one, Western Conference Finals, 6 o'clock Pacific on TNT. Rockets 1.5, 225 the total. Series price, nothing but Golden State money. They're as high as 220 at some spots. Take back 175. William Hill took over $500,000 on the Warriors at minus $2 to win the series price. This is what they've been waiting for. This is what they built in the offseason and why they brought Chris Paul in. They are 50-5 with Harden, Paul, and Capella when they all play. They would have won 70 games if they didn't have any injuries. They took out Minnesota and Utah in 5. Didn't really play well. Won the season series 2-1 against Golden State. They have home court, but also Golden State is 24-3 in 6 playoff series with Kevin Durant. So they've lost 3 times in 6 playoff series, and now you got to beat them 4 out of 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's which trend do you want to look at? That 50-5 with Capella, CP3, and Harden, or the 24-3 of the playoffs with Durant on the floor? 2 pretty good streaks that you're going to have to stand in front of one or the other to get involved in this ballgame. Certainly, when you're talking about the way that the Warriors are approaching the Rockets, they're approaching it like it's the toughest test they've had at any point during this championship run. And let's not forget, Golden State is an underdog. They were not good underdogs during the regular season. They lost 5 of their 6 games catching points. But when you talk about the basic thought process of these 2 teams, Golden State's been there before. Houston trying to climb that mountain, trying to get to the window. And I love the quote from Steve Kerr. You know, it's a quote that really stood out to me. I like where we are. Our guys have rings. That's a good position to be in. To me, the hardest championship is the first one as an individual player and as a team, because you don't quite know if you can do it. Once you get the first one, there's a little bit of house money, but you want it again because it's an unbelievable feeling. I like our position. We know we're going to go in here knowing we're the defending champs, knowing how we got a couple of championships here the last few years. Let's go get another one. It's a nice feeling to have to go in to this series with. That level of confidence for the Golden State Warriors that the Houston Rockets don't have. And I'll tell you what, if Golden State wins game 1 tonight, all the demons are going to be coming out talking about James Harden's failures and Chris Paul's failures and Mike D'Antoni's failures in these key playoff games and playoff series throughout the course of their careers.
Well, I would blame David Stern for D'Antoni's failures, and also Chris Paul exercised the demons as he made it to a conference final now. And this is the best team Golden State's ever played with the record they put together. Oh, I will agree with you. If they spit up home court early, they're in trouble because Golden State has won 15 in a row at home and tied the record. A big key to this series is going to be Capella, who averaged 15 and 13 in the first 2 rounds and outplayed Towns and Gobert. Some people are calling for them to go small ball with the Tucker, Ariza, Mbamute lineup, which outscored their opponents by 25 points per 100 possessions in 222 minutes. Bombs away. You have to out-warrior the Warriors here. I want them to shoot at least 45 threes a game. And I think that's how you can beat Golden State as well. Don't have Harden relax and take those lazy step-back threes. And we'll see how much ISO ball they use as well. But the supporting cast is going to be huge. Gordon, Ariza, Mbamute, and Tucker did not play well during the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, and they still won in 5 against Utah and still beat Minnesota in 5 as well. But Gordon had a big game in the game they lost against Golden State. He had 30. Green had a 29-point game. So the bench did. Mbamute and Tucker played well in the first game of the season when they beat them. Those are the guys who are going to be key to this series. And how many threes, we know about Harden and Paul, but how many threes will a Mbamute and Tucker hit as well? And they like to slow it down. There's some great numbers here that they were at the bottom in pace. They were number 6 in the league regular season in defense. These are the top 2 defensive teams in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I mean, we think about Houston as this run and gun team. In fact, the possession numbers show very clearly, especially in the postseason, the Rockets have not been playing that run and gun style. Golden State is the team that's looking to push the pace here. Houston may well want to slow the pace, deal with all of Golden State switching, and then hope that switching produces some kind of a mismatch, and then attack it. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see the Rockets try to slow it down offensively to make this series as slow as possible, because we all know what Golden State can do in transition. It's worth noting, we talk about Houston playing slow, we talk about three-point shooting. The Warriors rank number 15 out of 16 playoff teams in three-point shooting percentage. So far, they have not shot the rock well from beyond the arc. Golden State starts hitting threes. That's going to be a problem for the Rockets, whether it's game 1, game 2, game 5, whenever it is. But the bottom line for this Houston team, they need to control the pace. They cannot let the Warriors get out in transition. And they need to continue to give Golden State problems from the three-point line. But one last quote from Steve Kerr. This is the defending champs, the heart of the champs. Quote, "They are taking the challenge and they're embracing it. We seem to be at our best when we are threatened. That's been kind of the MO of this team, and we're definitely threatened." Worth noting, first series that Golden State will be starting on the road during any of their championship runs. So it is a very different situation for the Warriors after, I believe, the last 15 playoff series all started on their home floor.
Yeah. I would not run with them. I'm with you there. And although we got a pick on this coming up, 4 of the 5 games against the Pelicans, closing number went under the total. And you're worried about leak outs and runouts if Harden's taking deep threes and there's no one back to defend off the misses. There's a Las Vegas and a Houston story angle to this story, which I cannot believe. I love this story. So Tillman Fertitta, I think it was in September or early, he bought the Rockets. Tillman Fertitta also owns the Golden Nugget Casino here in Las Vegas, which means they had to take the Rockets games off the board. Here, it's the Western Conference Finals. They can't book the games. Imagine if they beat the Warriors. They'll be in the finals and you can't take action. Tony Miller says he gets asked about it 100 times a day. But so you can't take action as a rule. But also, as a result of this, the Golden State Warriors have already been graded a winner at the Golden Nugget to win the Western Conference. Doesn't matter. And if the Rockets beat the Warriors and go to the finals, whoever comes out of the East will be graded the winner no matter the outcome of what happens. So if Boston beats Cleveland and they match up with the Rockets in the finals, no matter what happens before the series is even played, the Celtics will be graded the winner, because they have to have a winner, and Houston's not eligible because they can't book Rockets games or Rockets futures. This story is crazy, Teddy.
It is an insane story. And of course, I remember when Caesars, the company that owns Caesars, owned the New York Knicks, and you couldn't bet on the Knicks or the Rangers and any of the Caesars or Harris property. I mean, this has happened before. It's a long-standing rule in Las Vegas. When you own the team, you can't bet on them at their casino. I don't think that's necessarily a bad rule, but it does create enormous amounts of confusion within that casino. And here, the Golden Nugget, of course, probably going to cost them a fair bit of money, having Fertitta having bought the Rockets after they started booking future bets for this season. Obviously, not a great result for the house at the Nugget, but there's really not much they can do about it. And if you bet that at the Nugget, you're already in position to cash your ticket, regardless of the outcome of the series. That's always nice when that happens, Paulie, although it doesn't happen every day. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.